With pre-release coming up, we're getting you prepared by looking at all the removal in Tarkir Dragonstorm coming right up.
Sparks ignite, stay and play, it's game night.
Welcome to Wizards Whimsy. I'm your host Patrick. Today we're going to go over the removal in Tarkir Dragonstorm. With pre-release right around the corner, it's a good idea to go ahead and take a look at this because, as you know, building your limited decks, you need creatures, you need creature removal. Hopefully your creatures have some sort of evasion, but we're going to focus on the creature removal. And the reason that is because there's over 50 pieces of spot removal in Tarkir Dragonstorm. Now, if you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button, and share this video out. And make sure you leave a comment and let me know what card you're excited to see and which one you're hoping to play and which one you think is the sleeper card of the set as far as removal goes. Since there's over 50 pieces of removal, we're going to go by color. I think that'll be the easiest way to do it, and that way you can also break it down. So there is white, blue, black, green, red, multicolor, and colorless. So there's a lot of cards, so we're going to try to go through those as fast as possible. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the white cards, and first up is Coordinated Maneuver. It is a 2-drop instant. It has Choose One. Coordinated Maneuver deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target enchantment. So what's great about this is it has multiple purposes. You can use it because you're trying to go wide, so you have a bunch of creatures. So you have 7 creatures, they have a 6/6 out. You'll deal 7 damage to that creature, or you can destroy a target enchantment. And there are some pretty good enchantments in this set, and some of them you really don't want them to stick around. Stormplane Detainment is a 3-drop enchantment, 2 and a white. When this enchantment enters, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. So again, no matter what it is, as long as it's not a land, if it's a permanent, you can get rid of it. What's really good is if they have some big token creatures, you can go ahead and exile those tokens, and even when they remove this, those tokens are gone. Osseous Exhale is a 2-drop instant. It is 1 and a white. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may behold a dragon. You may choose a dragon you control or reveal a dragon card from your hand. Osseous Exhale deals 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. If a dragon was beheld, you gain 2 life. So no matter what, even if you don't behold a dragon, you're dealing 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. The only difference is if you behold a dragon, you gain 2 life, which in limited, it could actually mean the difference between winning and losing. So, make sure that you keep an eye out for this card, especially if it's in the color pie that you'll be playing. Rally the Monastery is a 4-drop, 3 generic and a white instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast if you cast another spell this turn. Choose one. Create 2 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess. Up to 2 target creatures you control each get +2/+2 until end of turn, or destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Again, this is a great utility card because it can help create a bigger board state for you. It can buff one of your creatures, or you can destroy one of your opponent's big creatures. It is 4 cost, but in limited, it is a great removal spell or a great utility spell to actually have whenever you're playing limited. Elspeth Stormslayer is a 5-drop planeswalker, 3 generic, 2 white, has if 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created. She comes in with 5 loyalty. She has a +1, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, which in general means you'll be creating 2. You can 0, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain flying until end of turn. Or -3, destroy target creature and opponent controls with mana value 3 or greater. So again, this is a way that you can get rid of one of your opponent's big creatures. You can create a bigger board state, or you can just buff all your creatures and give them flying. So This card is, if you pull this card, you definitely want to play it because, again, as soon as she comes into the field, you can destroy their biggest creature. Static Snare is a 5-drop enchantment. It is 4 generic and a white. It has flash. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature. So keep that in mind, that it's not just your creatures that attack, but your opponent's creatures that attack. So their attacking creatures actually give this a cost reduction as well. When this enchantment enters, exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. What's great about this is if they're swinging in with 4 or more creatures, this is only going to cost you 1, and you can remove their biggest or their most problematic creature from the field. In black, we have Gurmag Raksasha. It is a 6-drop, 4 generic, 2 black demon creature. It is a 5/5. It has menace. When this creature enters, target creature and opponent control gets -2/-2 until end of turn, and target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So this is a way that you can, remove one of your opponent's smaller creatures, or if you've attacked and they've blocked and their big creature only has 2 toughness on the back end because of the damage still on it, you can play this in main phase 2 and remove that creature. So, make sure that the timing of when you play this is how you want it to be, to where it can be most effective to remove an opponent's creature. Desperate Measures is a 1-drop instant, 1 black mana. Target creature gets +1/-1 until end of turn. When it dies under your control this turn, draw 2 cards. You can use this card to remove any creature that has a 1 toughness. Or if you know your creature's fixing to die, you can give it that little buff minus so that you can draw 2 cards. So it has multiple purposes of either letting you draw cards or removing a small creature that your opponent controls. Caustic Exhale is a 1-drop instant. It is 1 black mana. As an additional cost to cast this spell, behold a dragon or pay 1. So at worst, this is a 2-drop removal. Its target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. So any creature that has a 3 toughness or less, this will remove. Of course, if they're swinging with a big creature, you can use this to lessen the amount of damage that creature will do, and also use one of your smaller creatures to actually kill it. So again, this is one of those cards that you want to make sure that you time it right when you use it. Dragon's Prey is a 3-drop instant, 2 generic and a black. This spell costs 2 more to cast if it targets a dragon. Destroy target creature. At best, you're spending 3 to remove a problematic creature. If it is a dragon that you're trying to remove, it's going to cost 5 mana. So I would use this one sparingly, but I would not shy away from putting it into my deck if this is in the colors that I'm playing. Whale of War is a 3-drop instant, 2 generic and a black. Choose 1. Creatures target opponent control get -1/-1 until end of turn, or return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. What's great about this is if you swing in and y'all just clash and kind of bounce off of each other with your creatures, you can actually play this and give all of their creatures, all of your opponent's creatures, -1/-1, which could keep some of your creatures alive while also killing their creatures. So again, play this, strategically, and this will be a great card for you. Salt Road Skirmish is a 4-drop, 3 generic and a black. Destroy target creature. Create 2 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. They gain haste until end of turn. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. This is a sorcery, so it's a great way to get rid of one of your opponent's creatures and then be able to attack with 2 1/1 creatures in addition to any other creatures you are attacking with. Strategic Betrayal is a 2-drop sorcery, 1 generic and a black. Target opponent exiles a creature they control and their graveyard. So not only are you removing a creature from their field, you're also removing their graveyard. Again, something that does multiple things is usually a good card, especially in limited. Worthy Cost is a 1-drop black mana sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Scavenging Regent is a 4-drop, 3 generic and a black, 4/4 flying, has ward, discard a card. It is a dragon. But why we're picking this is because it has an omen, which is Exude Toxin, which is X and 2 black. Each non-dragon creature gets neg X until end of turn. This is a great way to get rid of your opponent's creatures, and it's a great way that you can, basically make something in your favor, especially if you're a dragon-heavy deck. And remember, because it's an omen, it will shuffle back into your library, so if you need to use it again, you'll have access to it, or you can use it for its creature side. So again, a card that does multiple things, especially one that shuffles back in so you don't lose it, is a great card, and I'm excited to see how these omens actually work. When it comes to blue removal, it's going to be either bounce spells, counter spells, or it's going to tap down a creature, maybe tap it down, put a stun counter on it, or tap it down and it doesn't untap during its next upkeep if it's an enchantment that you're putting on it. Or it might even just power it down to where it's basically swinging for nothing. So let's go ahead and take a look at the blue cards. And first up, we have Diager Island Dragon is a 6-drop. It is a 4/4, has flying, ward 2, meaning that if an opponent targets it with a spell, they have to pay an additional 2 mana. That's a spell or an ability. It has an omen, so again, here we are with those omen cards. Skimming Strike. It is 2 mana, 1 generic and a blue. It's an instant. Tap up to 1 target creature and draw a card. So not only is it replacing itself, but it's also tapping down one of your opponent's creatures so that you can get in. And of course, as long as it resolves, it'll shuffle back in to where at later turns you can actually cast the dragon and hopefully get the win using that tactic. Riverwalk Technique is a 4-drop, 3 generic and a blue instant. It has choose 1. The owner of target non-land permanent puts it on their choice of top or bottom of their library, or counter target non-creature spell. So this is, you can counter a non-creature spell or put any non-land permanent on either the top or bottom. Of course, it's the owner's choice. So most of the time, if it's a key card, they're going to put it on top so they'll draw it during their next turn. Dispelling Exhale is a 2-drop instant, 1 and a blue. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may behold a dragon. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. If a dragon was beheld, counter that spell unless its controller pays 4 instead. Spectral Denial is X and a blue. It's an instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X. Fresh Start is an enchantment aura. It is a 2-drop, 1 and a blue. It has flash, so you can cast it as though it had instant speed. It's enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets -5, -0, and loses all abilities. So you can shut down their most powerful dragon, and then they'll have to deal with this enchantment or have a way to return their creature to their hand. Ice Ridge Serpent is a 5-drop creature serpent. It is a 3/3. It costs 4 generic and a blue. When this creature enters, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Urini's Rebuff is a 2-drop sorcery. It's 1 generic and a blue. Return target creature to its owner's hand. It has Harmonize for 6, 5 generic and a blue. You may cast this card from your graveyard. For its Harmonize cost, you may tap a creature you control to reduce the cost by X, where X is its power. Then exile this spell. Ringing Strike Master is a 1-drop enchantment aura. It is 1 blue mana. Whenever this aura enters, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Enchanted creature has pay 5, untap this creature. Moving on to green, we have a few cards in green. Of course, with green, it's going to mostly be, artifacts or enchantments you destroy. It's going to be fight spells, or it's going to be something that destroys creatures with flying. So first up, we have Undergrowth Leopard. It is a 2-drop, 1 generic and a green. Creature cat, 2/2. It has vigilance. It has pay 1, sacrifice this creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Heritage Reclamation is a 2-drop instant, 1 generic and a green, and it has choose 1. Destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, or exile up to one target card from a graveyard and draw a card. Sarkhan's Resolve is a 2-drop instant, 1 generic and a green. It is choose one. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn, or destroy target creature with flying. Knockout Maneuver is a 3-drop sorcery, 2 generic and a green. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, then it deals damage equal to its power to target creature and opponent controls. Piercing Exhale is a 2-drop instant, 1 generic and a green. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may behold a dragon. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker. If a dragon was beheld, you'll surveil 2. Moving into red, we're going to see more damage-based spells. So we have Channeled Dragonfire. It is a 1-drop, 1 red mana sorcery. Channeled Dragonfire deals 2 damage to any target. It has Harmonize for 7, 5 generic and 2 red. And again, you can reduce that cost by however powerful the biggest creature is that you have by tapping that creature. And then you can pay 2 red for this to deal 2 damage to any target. And again, that is any target, so you can also target the player. I've talked about this card in one of my other videos. Sunset Strike Master is a 2-drop, 1 generic and a red human monk 3/1. It has tap, add 1 red mana. Or you can pay 3, 2 generic and a red, tap, sacrifice this creature. It deals 6 damage to target creature with flying. So you can use this early game to get your big creatures out, or when your opponent gets a big creature out that has flying, say one of their dragons, you can deal 6 damage to it by just paying 3 mana and sacking this creature. Molten Exhale is a 2-drop sorcery, 1 generic and a red. You may cast this spell as though it had flash if you behold a dragon as an additional cost to cast it. Molten Exhale deals 4 damage to target creature or player. So here we are, we're dealing at 4 damage. And if you either have a dragon on the field or in your hand, you can actually cast it at instant speed. Overwhelming Surge is a 3-drop instant. It is 2 generic and a red, and it has choose one or both. Overwhelming Surge deals 3 damage to target creature, destroy target non-creature artifact. So you can get rid of one of your opponent's key artifacts and also deal 3 damage to a target creature. Narset's Rebuke is a 5-drop instant, 4 generic and a red. Narset's Rebuke deals 5 damage to target creature. Then add Jeskai, which is blue, red, white. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Twin Bolt is a 2-drop instant, 1 generic and a red. Twin Bolt deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. Unsparing Boltcaster is a 3-drop. He is a creature, so he's 2 generic and a red. Ogre Wizard, he's a 3/3. When this creature enters, it deals 5 damage to target creature an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. So again, this is something that you want to play main phase 2, because after you've attacked and one of their big creatures, blocked your creature, maybe ate your creature, you can play this to finish that creature off. Let's go ahead and move over into the multicolor removal spells. First up, we have Barren Step Siege. It is a 4-drop, 2 generic, a white and a black enchantment. As this enchantment enters, choose Abzan or Mardu. If you choose Abzan at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. If you chose Mardu at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under your control this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. So the good thing about this is that you can swing with little creatures, and if your opponent chooses to block and kill those creatures, at the beginning of your end step, they will have to sacrifice a creature. So you got to look at it as this is a good enchantment as far as doing that. Or if you want to make your creatures bigger, you can choose Abzan. But I would choose the Mardu just so it would punish my opponents for blocking and killing my creatures. Glacial Dragon Hunt is a 2-drop sorcery. It is a blue and a red. Draw a card, then you may discard a card. When you discard a non-land card this way, Glacial Dragon Hunt deals 3 damage to target creature, and it has Harmonize for 6 mana, 4 generic, a blue and a red. Again, you can reduce the cost by tapping a creature that has 4 or more power to reduce it to where you're still just paying the blue-red and then when the spell resolves for the second time, you will exile it. Severance Priest is a 3-drop. It is white, black, green. It is a Djinn cleric. It is a 3/3. It has Death Touch. When this creature enters, target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, exile that card. When this creature leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner creates an XX white spirit creature token where X is the mana value of the exiled card. Inevitable Defeat is a 4-drop. 1 generic, red, white, black, instant. This spell can't be countered. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. What's really good about this is it is exiling, so your opponent does not have a chance to get it back or recur it from the graveyard since you exile it, and they lose 3 life and you gain 3 life. So this card is all upside, even though it is 4 mana, but you're exiling, gaining life, and draining life. So definitely a card that I would add into if I was playing these colors in the pre-release. Defibrillating Current. It is 6 mana, 2 generic, 2 generic, 2 generic, or it is 3 mana, a red, white, and black, or it's a combination of them. So this can either be 6 mana or 3 mana or anything in between, depending on what kind of mana you have available. And it deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain 2 life. It is a sorcery. Dragonback Assault is a 6-drop, 3 generic, green, blue, red enchantment. When this enchantment enters, it deals 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. It has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. So what's great about this enchantment is that it's going to do 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. And then you just play land and you start building your board back up. So even if you end up wiping your board with this enchantment as well as your opponent's, as soon as you play a land, your board state's coming back with 4/4 flyers. Death Begets Life. This is an 8-drop sorcery. It is 5 generic, a black, green, and blue. Destroy all creatures and enchantments. Draw a card for each permanent destroyed this way. So if you're top decking, this is a great way that you can fill your hand. Sonic Shrieker is a creature dragon. It is a 5-drop, 2 generic, red, white, black. It is a 4/4. It has flying. When this creature enters, it deals 2 damage to any target and you gain 2 life. If a player is dealt damage this way, they discard a card. Riverwheel Sweep is another one of those cards that you can pay 6 generic mana or 3 colored mana, which is blue, red, white, or a combination thereof. Tap target creature, put 3 stun counters on it. Also, exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose one of them. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. Awaken the Honored Dead is a 3-drop enchantment saga. It is a black, green, and blue. So when it enters, you'll start off at 1 and you'll destroy target non-land permanent. Then after your draw step in main phase 1 of your next turn, you will mill 3 cards. And then the final step of this saga is you may discard a card. When you do, return target creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. Here's another one of those cards that I talked about in one of my earlier videos. Rune Scale Stormbrood. It is a 4-drop, 3 generic, a red creature dragon. It is a 2/4. It has flying, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell or a dragon spell, this creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. But it has an omen on it. Chilling Screech is a 2-drop, 1 generic, and a blue instant. Counter target spell with mana value 2 or less. Again, once this spell resolves, you will shuffle this back into your library to where you can draw it in later turns and actually cast the creature spell, or you can counter another spell. Jeskai Revelation is a 7-drop. It is 4 generic, a blue, red, and white instant. Return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Jeskai Revelations deals 4 damage to any target. Create 2 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess. Draw 2 cards. You gain 4 life. All of the things that this spell has are relevant, and they'll be even more relevant in late game whenever you're paying 7 mana to cast this instant speed spell. Lie in Wait is a 3-drop sorcery. It is black, green, blue. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Lie in Wait deals damage equal to that card's power to target creature. Twin Maw Stormbrood is a 6-drop dragon, 5 generic, and a white. It is a 5/4 flying. When this creature enters, you gain 5 life. It has an omen, Charring Bite for 2, 1 generic, and a red. It is a sorcery. Charming Bite deals 5 damage to target creature without flying. So you're able to remove one of those big creatures that are stuck on the ground that don't fly, so that your ground troops can actually get in and deal damage to your opponent. Kin Tree Severance. This again is one of those spells where it's 6 generic mana, a white, black, or green, or any combination thereof. Instant. Exile target permanent with mana value 3 or greater. So most likely you're going to be using this on your opponent's bombs or on your opponent's big permanents that are really warping the game in their favor. This is what you're going to use, and it will exile. So they won't be able to get it back or return it from a graveyard because you are exiling that permanent. Disruptive Stormbrood is a 5-drop, 4 generic and a green. It has flying. When this creature enters, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. It is a 3/3 dragon. It also has an omen. For 1 generic and a black, you can cast this sorcery, destroy target creature with power 3 or less. So you're able to get rid of some of those creatures that your opponent has. It's blocking your little guys. Of course, again, this will shuffle back in once it resolves so that you can use it later, or you can cast it for the dragon to actually get in there to start beating down your opponent. Finally, we're going to colorless. We have Ugin, Eye of the Storm, which is a 7-drop. Legendary Planeswalker. It is Ugin. It comes in with 7 loyalty. It has, when you cast this spell, exile up to 1 target permanent that's 1 or more colors. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, exile up to 1 target permanent that's 1 or more colors. It has +2, you gain 3 life and you draw a card. 0, add 3 generic mana. Or -11, search your library for any number of colorless non-land cards, exile them, then shuffle. Until end of turn, you may cast those cards without paying their mana cost. Thanks for checking out this video. Hopefully it gave you some idea on some cards to look out for while you're drafting or opening a pre-release kit. However you're playing limited, these are the removal spells that are in Tarkir Dragonstorm, and I hope you found this video helpful and informative. And make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know what you think of some of the cards. I'd love to hear your thoughts on some of these cards. I think some of them will be played in multiple formats. There might be some that are just good in limited. So go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. If you're looking for sealed product, I do have links to Amazon in the description below, so go ahead and check those out. But if you use any of those links and you make any purchases, I do get a small commission at no additional cost to you. All it is letting them know that, hey, I sent you there, and they're giving me a small percentage, a very small percentage, off of the sale of those products. I do have a few things in the works, so hopefully all that stuff will pan out and I'll be able to pass that information on to you. So until next time, keep slinging those spells.
It's time to brew, slinging spells, making mischief too. Wizards, whimsy, a little bit of news, battlefields too, crazy brews. Mana's flow and sparks ignite, stay and play, it's game.